Today is the start of the 143rd Supreme Convention of the Knights of Columbus. The three-day event right here in the nation's capital began with a mass and procession. Hundreds of knights attended the Mass at the Basilica of the National Shrine of the Immaculate Conception. There are several other events, including the state dinner tonight at the Washington Hilton Hotel. The Knights began back in 1882. It now has around 2.1 million members, are devoted to charitable work around the world. Attendees also received a message from Pope Leo XIV.
You are meeting during the Jubilee Year of Hope, which encourages the universal church, and indeed the entire world, to reflect on this essential virtue, which Pope Francis described as the desire and expectation of good things to come, despite our not knowing what the future may bring.
And for more, we turn to Kathryn Jean Lopez, editor-at-large for National Review Online, who is attending the Supreme Convention. Kathryn, great to have you back. The theme for this year is the Knights of Columbus as Pilgrims of Hope. What does that theme mean to you?
Well, I have to say, as obviously not a member of the Knights of Columbus, I'm a woman, and they're a fraternal organization, they give me tremendous hope. Because what the Knights of Columbus do is, they're men who want to be virtuous, who organize themselves around Christ and charity, and then they go from there. And so you go from, we have like pancake breakfasts where there's fellowship in a parish, to we fund ultrasound machines at the local pregnancy center, to there's a disaster in the homeland domestically, and the Knights of Columbus pick up and move in, to, and this is honestly so close to my heart and has been so such a grace for me to witness, their support of persecuted Christians in the world. When 10 years ago, when ISIS was attacking in Iraq and wanting to eliminate the Christians, the Knights of Columbus moved in. And not only did they move in, like you knew their money was going directly, no overhead. If you donated to their Christian persecution fund, it was all going directly. And I would be in the room. A good friend of mine was orchestrating this all for the Knights, and he would get a call from Bishop Warda in Erbil, and we need 17 desks and 3 beds, and that's what the Knights of Columbus were doing, building a future for the Iraqis. So there are Christians in Iraq today because of the Knights of Columbus.
Wow, some really great work, no doubt about it. What are some of the highlights of the Supreme Convention, and what are you most looking forward to?
Well, the Supreme Convention is a really quirky event. I'll tell you the truth. It's beautiful because even when I got to the hotel last night, like a woman will be first in the elevator. They're gentlemen. It's a nice change from sure. Maybe every day in Washington or on the East Coast. But in all seriousness, there is this great camaraderie. And you see every state having its own little sense of, I hate using the word pride because it's a deadly sin, but in the sense of we have something that we want to contribute to the world. It's, a sense of identity rather than pride. So anyway, the states, they kind of like get a little competitive like men do, and want to have the biggest cheers at the states dinner. And there's also I've been a speaker at this in years past. Vanessa Kelly, Patrick's wife, the head of the Knights of Columbus, will have a ladies' lunch. And this year, Jeannie Mancini, who was most recently the president of the March for Life, will be a speaker. And she's a beautiful speaker about obviously pro-life issues, but prayer, and she's just a beautiful woman of Christ.
Absolutely. Well, Kathryn Jean Lopez, editor-at-large for National Review Online, thank you. Love your perspective.
Thanks, Tara.